Northern everybody, it's Dan from Home Physique. So my last van vlog, it got some pretty good response. A lot of people said they liked the format, they liked me talking away whilst driving around in my banging van. So I figured I'd do another video in here, or maybe start doing a few more in here, put it that way. I have to apologise for the shakiness of the video. If it is really bad, I can't help that. Hopefully I'm not going to hesitate too much when I talk, but in this video I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the cube method so far. A lot of people have been asking me about it, asking what I think to it, and what my plans are for the duration of using it. So what I want to quickly say is that I've only done cube method for one cycle. I've started my second cycle last week. I really like the format, the way it's laid out. I like how you have the reps days, the explosive days, and then the heavy days. Now, the only thing I can really, well, I've done two programs prior to cube method. One was obviously 531, which I did 14 cycles of, and the other was growth stimulus training, which again I did about 12 cycles, I think it was. Now, growth stimulus training and 531, I would say pretty much the same, and I would also say that growth stimulus training is like a merger between the cube method and 531. I'm not saying that's what Brian did, because obviously I don't know that, but basically GST takes all the aspects of cube method, you know, the explosive days, the rep days, you know, the heavier days, whereas it's endurance reps, hypertrophy, and then strength. That's what the reps are called. It basically combines that with the percentage setup of 531. Now, obviously, cube method, you don't have that. Well, you do use percentages, obviously, but you don't have that plus rep set. You know, there's none of that in there. There's no AMRAP training. The only time you actually do a max rep set is on the 95% final day, which is the wave 3 heavy day. You work up to 95%, and then you back up to 80%, and you do as many reps as possible. Now, where that differs to say 531, you're doing 85% for max reps, 90% for max reps, and 95% for max reps. Now, obviously, I understand that is a 90% training max, but obviously with the cube method as well, he does say to use a decent max, but I've been using a training max, and it seems to be going well. What I want to say is that after the first cycle of doing the cube method, obviously I was using a very low training max. I wasn't using the type of weights that I was lifting in the past. With 531, I was often lifting pretty sub-maximally, and I think that was one of the major reasons to why I ended up so beat up. Not so much that my form was bad, because that's one thing that people put too much emphasis on. They think that if your form is perfect, there's no chance you're going to get injured. But the fact is that even if you've got perfect form, if you're really pushing the boat out and you've developed tightness and problems, you're still at risk of getting an injury. So you've got to take that into account as well. And if you are battering yourself week in, week out, you've got to think that time's going to come at some point. You know what I mean? So for me, I liked that. Although I was using a very low training max, and that I was you don't really go above 85% till the later weeks of cube method. I mean, you don't even see the 90% range until the final few weeks, so you're not actually training with really heavy weights. And even that said, I did the mock meet and I felt really fast, I felt really strong. The lifts that I did, they all felt really manageable, really easy, and they all felt as though they moved very fast. So that's sort of testament to saying that you don't need to be training with sub-maximal weights to make progress. So I'm really happy with that. I've got to admit, like I say, at first when I looked at the cube method and I looked at how it was laid out, I was a bit dubious. I thought that this looks like a really basic program. I thought there's not much work here. It just looked really sparse, as if you weren't going to be doing anything. But when you do actually plot it out and you do it in the gym, it is a lot of work. It is a high volume program. There's a lot to do, and I tell you now, it does batter you. So if you are into the volume, then you're alright. Fucking hell, I've come down the wrong way. Do you know? well, I'll leave that in because it'll probably make you giggle. So to quickly summarise it then, I really do like the cube method. I think it is a good approach to training. I'm not saying that it's the best approach to training, but so far it seems to be fitting the bill for me. Obviously after this next cycle where I'm using a much higher training max with the hope of breaking the PR, when I do the mock meet at the end of it, depending on what the turnout on that is going to determine whether or not I thought cycle 1 was a fluke or not, but we'll see when the time comes. But so far I'm liking the cube method, and I'm probably going to be sticking with it for the near future. I have arrived at my destination, so I shall call it at that. Thanks for watching. Please like, share with your friends, subscribe if you're not already, and I will see you in my next video. Cheers now.